Hello everyone and welcome to episode 139 of the TEW 2020 New Japan Pro Wrestling Series here on the channel, as it is the 2028 New Japan Cup. Of course, that marks another anniversary date. Of course, we started this series way back when at the New Japan Cup 2020 event, and to think now how far along we've come is kind of crazy. But as far as for this New Japan Cup, I am super excited for. First of all, we've actually changed a little bit the schedule length. We took out an extra day, as far as we've kind of shrunk the amount of non-tournament matches that we were going to see on this tour. Basically, the first, I want to say, either 3 or 4 days is going to feature nothing but New Japan Cup matches. Because usually we used to spread it out to where there'd be 4 and then 2 non-tournament matches for the first 4 days, and then going on through so far and so forth. But now we've really put a focus on the New Japan Cup, and I think the reason why, honestly, our roster is just so goddamn big. We have literally 201 people on the roster. That is insane. That is so many people, and really, it's just hard to really navigate all of that because Jesus, we have just so many people. But the New Japan Cup lineup is as followed. As far as for the 2028 New Japan Cup, we have for Volter versus Shingo Takagi, Chaz Gable versus Shinsuke Nakamura, The Great O'Khan versus Ryu Lee, Dominic Garrini versus Jonathan Gresham, Kazuchika Okada versus Brody King, Keith Lee versus Katsuhiko Nakajima, Jay White versus Ray Fenix, and Shota Umino versus Rush, which that's basically all of the night one matches. As because there might actually be, it might just go down to Keith Lee and Katsuhiko Nakajima, and then I think for day 2, it starts off with the Jay White Ray Fenix matchup, and then goes over to the right side here with Daniel Makabe versus Shotaro Ashino. What a matchup that is! Hiromu Takahashi versus Kota Umeda, another phenomenal matchup there. Pentagon Jr. versus King Devitt. La Sombra versus Kenta as well. And I believe that wraps up day 2. Then for day 3, Daichi Hashimoto versus Shane Strickland. Juice Robinson versus Miro. Yota Tsuji versus Konosuke Takeshita. And then Zack Sabre Jr. versus Alex Coughlin. And I believe then on day 3 we see the second round matches, whoever wins between Volter and Shingo versus whoever wins between Chaz Gable and Shinsuke Nakamura. And then also whoever wins between the Great O'Connor Riley and then Dominic Garrini and Jonathan Gresham. I mean, some pretty big first round matches. Jay White and Ray Fenix is a great match. As far as Gable and Nakamura, it's a fun one. Cody Made in Rome was probably the best one on paper, but there are some really, really good matches. Juice and Miro should be a pretty good little matchup. Kenta La Sombra should be a good matchup. Really, that whole, as far as day 3 is really going to be cooking. Days 2 and 3, I think, are going to probably be the best days as far as for the first round matches go. As we are in a very, very unique spot here for the New Japan Cup, obviously, in that we've now have had so many champions as far as winning this New Japan Cup. As far as from the past, basically from 2020 to now going to be 2028, as this is our 9th New Japan Cup. Very crazy to think that we are almost in double digits, and we have not had a 2-time winner yet. So obviously started off with Tomohiro Ishii, then Brody Lee, then Hiromu, then Ashino, then Kenta, then Sonata, then Pac, and then Hayata Tamura. So we've had one American, we've had one British-born star, and then the rest have been Japanese native talent. So really, out of that kind of analytical kind of looking at the data, trying to think of a pattern, it really has been just a kind of a native-born tournament for those guys to win. For the as far as the kind of finals last year, of course, was Tamura and Konosuke to catch the Wrestle Kingdom rematch. Pac has been in the main has been in the New Japan Cup finals twice, of course, winning it in 2026. It's kind of crazy to think Hayata Tamura, Pac, Sonata, all not involved in the tournament. Of course, Kenta's involved this year. Ashino is. And so is Hiromu. Then obviously Brody Lee and Tomohiro Ishii are retired. So only 3 people that have won the New Japan Cup as of the last 9 years are involved in this tournament. So that's kind of crazy to think about. But, yeah, I mean, Nakamura, he's been in the finals twice of this New Japan Cup. Hasn't won it yet. In the save, of course, he won it in 2014. For Okada, he's looking for a third time to tie Hiroki Goto for the most New Japan Cup wins. As, other than that, though, obviously, it's just mainly guys looking to get that potential second win. As far as for the finals of the New Japan Cup, what the kind of the non-tournament matches are looking like, we're going to have, right now, we have 3 matches lined up besides also the finals, so technically 4. We have 2 title matches, the IWGP Tag Team title matchup, Order Destruction versus the Goy Bastards, and women's title on the line, Thunder Rosa versus Io Shirai. We're also going to have Lee Moriarty getting involved in a matchup there as far as maybe a potential build-up to a future challenger, or even, potentially, I mean, Lee Moriarty did, forfeit his chance to take on Sonata in exchange for Tyler Black to get his matchup, so maybe Tanahashi's given him a chance to potentially have a matchup for Sonata in the future. We'll have to wait and see. As I think, we've already went through kind of the tournament standards. I think we can just hop right in now, because there's really nothing more to really talk about as far as from the New Japan Cup, the standings, but without actually making the matches. We do have a couple of backstage incidents, but yeah, here's obviously the first round matches there. Backstage incidents, Satoshi Kojima and Naoto Tamura. As Kojima passes the microphone work to Tamura, then Ishii passes the microphone work to Tomoya Tom Ford. I'm feeling pretty good about this show, though. Obviously, the main event is going to be an interesting one, because there's really nothing that's pulling out at me that's like, oh, that's got to be the main event. Right now, I think Guarini and Gresham's the technical masterclass matchup, so we'll add that first. And it is, as Gresham's going to get the win, so he's advancing to the second round with that win. I believe, honestly, I think the main event, I think it's going to be Gable and Nakamura. I think that's a good match. It's 2 established names now. Obviously, Gable's been doing really well for us as of, since his debut. And he's going to beat Shinsuke Nakamura. So here's a man that, of course, has made it to finals multiple times, losing in the first round to Gable. Then I think we're going to go with Walter and Shingo as the co-main. As this is the Steal the Show matchup, actually. Basically, it's a full-on sprint. Shingo trying to use his speed to kind of overcome the power of Walter, but it's just not enough. As, Shingo using his speed and strength to bring a dominant performance over to Walter, but obviously now Shingo's up there in age where he's not as fast as he once was, and Okada, I'm thinking of Okada and Brody King now, the matchup that we're probably going to have next, but what Walter is able to do as far as taking Shingo down the mat, stretch him out, and also, beat the piss out of him, chop him, power bomb him, use his size to his advantage there, as Okada and Brody King can go here. Actually, it's probably not going to be here on the third matchup on the card. Brody King's going to beat him. This is a huge win for Brody King. First of all, Okada, another guy that has been obviously a face of New Japan once before, but now he's on a decline physically. But Brody King, this is kind of harkening back to the Bad Luck Fale role, where a bigger guy beats up somebody like Okada on the first day to, as far as an upset. And that's a huge win, though, for Brody King, and his first time meeting, too. So that's going to be nice. Yeah, I think the Okan-Riley Lee match is going to be better, so we'll add that. And then Keith Lee and Nakajima can be the second matchup on the card, which Riley is going to beat the Great Okan. I believe that also is a first-time meeting. It might not be, though, but I'm almost positive it is. Yeah, we have a lot of first-time meetings on this New Japan Cup card. I think Walter and Shingo have had a couple of matches, but Guarini and Gresham, that's a first-time meeting. Gable and Nakamura singles-wise, that's another first-time meeting as well. Yeah, Walter has beaten Shingo in 2 matches, one on the New Japan Cup day and then one on a G1 Climax day. But it's been 4 years since then, so a fresh matchup in that regard. And then for Gable and Nakamura, I'm 99% positive they've never had a singles matchup, but they could have. Yep. So out of these 6 matches, almost all of them are first-time meetings. I think Keith Lee and Nakajima have had a G1 match. If not, though, actually no, I don't think Keith Lee was in the G1 last year. So I think this is also a first-time meeting. Yeah, which Keith Lee is going to beat Katsuhiko Nakajima. That's a big win there. Keith Lee, though, stamina-wise, is going to struggle a little bit with that. Hence why we're going to put it as only the second match. As we're going to be running this show in Chubu. So we'll have a pretty close to a sellout crowd. It'll be about 18,081 for the opening matchup, though. Gresham gets the win with a 630, a 90 for him. And 23-15, big win for Jonathan Gresham. And 82 for Nakajima and Keith Lee. Oh, yeah, Nakajima definitely was the better guy. But Keith Lee, using his size and strength to get the win. And gets the win with a power slam in 22 minutes. A 73 for Kazuchika Okada and Brody King. A point difference. Brody gets the win with the Gonzo Bomb over Kazuchika Okada in 22-43. That is a massive win for Brody King. And a 70 here for the Great Okada Riley. They don't click. So it's only a 70. Riley gets the win, though, in 23-41. That's a big motherfucker to be picking up with that move. As then a 78 for the co-main event as Volter beats Shingo with a Golden Bomb. Yeah, Shingo with a 59. Very sad to see. And then an 84 for our main event as Chaz Gable beating Shinsuke Nakamura with the Grand Amplitude in 25-33. Not the greatest of shows, especially for a pretty decent show. But, I mean, as far as at least everything was kind of in the light green, so we'll take that at least. But nothing above an 85. I was hoping that would be it, that main event, but it does not, unfortunately. So that is the first 6 matches of the New Japan Cup. It's on to day 2 for the next 6 matches here, the next of the first round matches, the next batch, if you will. Alrighty, day 2, as always, of course, we'll be running this on New Japan World. Got a backstage incident. And it's Satoshi Kojima again, passing out microphone work to Heiao Tamura. Boy, this show, though, I mean, Hiromu and Cody Maida's got to be the main. Then probably Samba and Kenta. And Makabe and Nishino, and then just kind of work our way from there. But this is a great night. This is definitely much better than night 1. As again, I'm looking probably, I'm going to save kind of the bigger, more name value places for later on in the tour. So I think we will be running, so we can get a 16,000. This is going to be a good show. We're just going to pick a nice size venue, and 20,000, the Yamada Green Dome. Perfect. So yeah, this is a great night, though. Hiromu and Cody Maida, I mean, this could be a finals, and here it is in a singles matchup on the first round. And Hiromu's going to get the win in 29 minutes, too, as they've had a match before. Maida beat him. It was at the G1 last year, and that was a 99 then, so it should be just as good here. And then Sombra and Kenta. Because Sombra's just incredible. I mean, this is going to be a great matchup. And he's going to beat Kenta as well. So that's a first round win for Sombra. And he is going on to the next round. Kenta beat him. The very first matchup they ever had at the G1 a couple of years back. That was also 99. I don't think it's going to be a 99 here, but we'll see. And we got, I think we're going to go, actually, Jay White, Ray Fenix. Because I think Makabe and Ishino, that actually might be a technical masterclass matchup. Is Ray Fenix going to be Jay White here? I believe they've had a couple of matches, yeah. Ray Fenix and Jay White, they're actually 1-1, so this is actually the trilogy matchup. And every match has been in the G1. So a first non-G1 setting for them. And Ray Fenix getting that win. And the Makabe and Ishino can go here. But Shito Ishino is going to beat Daniel Makabe. 28 minutes. I think we're going to cut it down a little bit. Makabe's getting older. Makabe and Ishino also. And a trilogy matchup here. They've had the last 2 years have been in G1 matches. Now here in the New Japan Cup. Which will then mean the next 2 matches are Steel Show and Technical Masterclass matchup. Shota Umino and Rush. So Rush is going to get the win there, advancing to the next round. Beating Shota Umino, and then Pentagon Jr. and King Devitt. As this is just a fun matchup for me. 2 of my favorite guys, kind of the last decade, really. As far as definitely like the 2010s, the beginning is Devitt, and then kind of midway through, and then towards the end, Pentagon Jr. fucking rules. So this is a fun match for me, personally. As far as first time meeting singles wise, Devitt gets the win here. Pentagon Jr.'s probably going to outperform him, but a hell of a matchup nonetheless. And yeah, we got to actually cut down an extra minute here. A lot of time given to these matches, for sure. And man, and just like that, we are almost at the end of round one. With now, out of the 12 matches, we just have basically half of night 3, and then we have the second round matches, which will be Volter versus Chaz Gable, and then Ryo Lee versus Dominic Arini. So we at least know the second round matches from those sides of the bracket. We'll take a look at the actual bracket itself once we run through those first four, the last four, I guess, rather, first round matches. But yeah, we can run this show now at 82 for the opener. Pentagon Jr. does, in fact, outperform him, but Devitt gets the win with the Fujiwara armbar as well. 1747, that's an interesting way to win it. Thought for sure he was going to get the win with either a double foot stomp or even the fucking Bloody Sunday, but in fact, that's not it. Shota Umino and Rush. Lalonza for Rush. And 13-12 and a great rating for him. Tough break for Shota Umino. Oh, shooter. Wow. 89. Yeah, Makabe with a 76. So, yeah, he is getting worse over time now. But T-Bone Suplex from Machino gets the win in 24 minutes. Big win there. And so far, the best G1, the best New Japan Cup matchup of the year. Ray Phoenix beating Jay White with a Meteora. Both men, 83s and 80. Great stuff there. It's a good match. Good match for sure. And a big win for Ray Phoenix, though. Then Kenta and La Sombra, as they do in fact have great chemistry. Sombra gets the win with the split-legged corkscrew senton, and 98 in-ring performance from him. Incredible stuff from the Los Ingobernables member. And then a 97 for our main event. Another matchup that has great chemistry here as Hiromu Takahashi beats Kota Umeda with the time bomb in 29 minutes. A hell of a matchup and a hell of a win for Hiromu as he goes on to the next round. Phenomenal show. A 95. I mean, this is better than some of the final shows we've seen just this year. Incredible stuff there with that 95. Very, very impressive. As on to day 3 we go. Alrighty, so as far as from round 1, the last of those matches, and then going into what will round 2 look like here coming up as our main event last year. Tyler Black and Josh Alexander was an 88, and so far, just from day 2, had a much better show and matchup there. But my God, a lot of backstage instances. Kimi Nishimura left the locker room backstage when she brought in our cute pet puppy. Hell yeah. We're all for pets in the fucking backstage area. Hiromu was brought for Wrestler's Court and was accused of failing to pick up a share of the tab on the shared rental car. As the judge Shinsuke Nakamura found no guilty and sentenced to pay the full cost of reimburse his travel partners. Good shit there. And again, Satoshi Kojima just keeps on passing microphone work to Eita Tamura. Same thing for Ishii as he passed on microphone work to Tomoya Tom Ford. Sonata, oh god, clicked it so fast. I think it was selling tips to his protege. I know he's passing on something to him. And then Bull Nakano passing on microphone work to Mari Akamoto. Well, my god, a lot of passing of the torch there, if you will. So yeah, our last four, I keep on wanting to say first, our last four first round matches. So we have Zack Sabre Jr. and Alex Coughlin, Konosuke Takeshita and Yota Tsuji, Juice Robinson and Miro, and then Shane Strickland and Daichi Hashimoto. I think we're going to have Konosuke Takeshita. Actually, I guess it's whatever is the Steal the Show matchup and the Technical Masterclass matchup is going to go at the bottom here. As Juice Robinson will be beating Miro in 20 minutes. That's Juice going on to the next round. Daichi Hashimoto, Shane Strickland. As that is also a regular matchup. And Daichi Hashimoto is going to beat Shane Strickland. This is a first time meeting as well, which we saw Daichi Hashimoto win the kind of junior heavyweight rumble to go to the junior heavyweight title matchup in 2026 at Wrestle Kingdom. But first time meeting here, and Hashimoto is going on to the next round. That's a big win for Hashimoto. Alex Coughlin, Zack Sabre Jr. This was probably the Technical Masterclass matchup, actually, if I had to guess. It is not, and we did not pick a winner. Actually, didn't edit anything off of this. We'll have it be the Technical Masterclass matchup because I think this is a good matchup for Zach. He gets the win there, and then Konosuke Takeshita and Yota Tsuji is next on the card. Oh, this is the Technical Masterclass matchup, and what a upset for Yota Tsuji here. We wanted to make a big-time impact for this day, and it is a huge win for Yota Tsuji, I'm sure. Oh, wow, he didn't even complain about it, did Konosuke Takeshita. What a fucking hero. What a legend that man is. Actually, we're going to swap Juice and Miro out too. So, now that we have those matches, the second round matches are as followed, Jesus, as Volter and Chaz Gable, Riley and Jonathan Gresham, which we'll be seeing. I don't know why we had Dominic Guarini here, and because that's obviously, as far as Jonathan Gresham, must have been asleep at the wheel on that one. But that's going to be a hell of a matchup, though. I hate that that's going to have to be a Steal the Show matchup. But I kind of like the idea of it being like a full-on sprint. With Riley getting the win. Oh yeah, we had the fucking bracket still up there. We had to change, all this. There we go. Steal the Show. Perfect. So, again, we're just going back to the bracket. So, what we're going to see for Night 4 is basically all of these next second round matches. So Brody King, Keith Lee, two Hosses battling it out there. The Ray Phoenix and Rush, very fun matchup there. Two luchadors battling it out. Shito Ashino and Hiromu Takahashi. I mean, that has been a major matchup in this save many times over, and now another one here in the second round of a New Japan Cup. King Devitt in La Sombra, and then Daichi Hashimoto versus Juice Robinson, Yota Tsuji versus Zack Sabre Jr. So these four guys kind of have the short end of a stick because the other guys have had some time to kind of rest, and these last two matches of the second round, those guys have no break in between, so a bit of a tough break for them. If someone's going to win the tournament out of this side here, this kind of bottom half of this right side, there's some real fucking savages over there, because they're going to have like zero breaks this whole tournament. That's the kind of one bad thing about our reasoning behind kind of how we split the days like that. But yeah, Riley, Jonathan Gresham, we'll have that be the co-main, and then Volter and Chaz Gable, the main event. Obviously a matchup that's happened in real life as of late here that has been very, very good, fun and very, very good. This is actually the first time here in the save here for us, but Volter's going to get the win as well, so he's going on to the next round. So that will, of course, mean Volter and Ryu Lee will be the next matchup. So we almost saw, as far as United Empire versus United Empire, but that is not going to be the case for the next round, as, again, I think we're going to run Hokuto. That just seems to be, no, I guess not. Every time I feel like we have enough to run it, and yeah, we've already checked here, just the 11,000 seater. Kyushu has a 25,000 seater and a 15,000. I think we're going to run that, 15,000 seater for day 3. But this is going to be a really good show. I'm very, very pleased with how it's going to play out. See how it starts off with. But Zack Sabre Jr. beats Alex Coughlin, the Zack Driver, 22-27. We rarely get to see him do that, but yeah, gets the win over Alex Coughlin. Coughlin was really off his game, so it could have been even better, but unfortunately, not so. As Miro and Juice Robinson. Pulp Friction here. Juice beats Miro. A couple point difference, but yeah, they have great chemistry as well. Kind of capped out on an 80s. Kind of weird for them having great chemistry, but they are kind of getting up there, especially Miro. Miro's in his 40s. Juice is almost in his 40s here in 2028. It's kind of wild to think. But yeah, Hashimoto beating Shane Strickland with a vertical drop rainbuster in 25-21. Beats Shane Strickland and gets a major win going into the next round. And then Konosuke Takeshita beats Yota Tsuji, beats Konosuke Takeshita with a major upset. Gets the win with the spear in 24-48. What a massive win for Yota Tsuji this is. Beating a former heavyweight champion, a guy who's main evented Wrestle Kingdom, who has done so many great things already just in his New Japan career. And now for Yota Tsuji to get this big win, that is quite the statement. And he's maybe potentially looking to go on to that next level of kind of in-ring competitors and looking to maybe get into that top echelon talent with that huge win. So Riley and Jonathan Gresham, 81 for both men, gets capped at an 80 as Riley gets the win in 14 minutes. What a massive win for Ryu Lee. And he's going on to the next round to take on Walter, as what a matchup that is. On 96, Walter wins with a Golden Bomb over Chaz Gable in 27-33 in a hell of a main event to cap off a pretty great show. As I'm surprised that it even got an 86 for Yota Tsuji's rating, but massive nonetheless. Of course, Walter and Chaz Gable, we knew that was going to be the great matchup that it is, and phenomenal to have that main event that show. As now, on to day 4 as we see the rest of the second round matches. Alrighty, day 4, we again have a lot of backstage incidents, probably the way this is going. But, it's only 2. But Yuji Nagata passes on psychology tips to the Great Okan, and Bull Nakano again passing on psychology to Mari Akamoto. As our last of the second round matches here, again, saving Kanto and Kansai for a little later. Oh wow, we could actually run the Marines again. That's kind of weird. We ran that for day 2. I don't know if we're going to run it here. Because, yeah, it's not a big enough venue, fortunately for us. It'd be 25,000, and yeah, we're definitely nowhere close to that. And we ran, obviously, the Green Dome there. I think what we're going to have to do is run the Momotaro Arena. 11,000 people. Gonna be a sellout crowd, at least, but not as great as I would have hoped. Man, I mean, some great matches here. I think, though, Ashino and Hiromu is the main event. That's a phenomenal match. And that's going to be quite the banger. As Hiromu's going to get the win, too. In 27 minutes. Of course, these two men, I mean, they've main evented a G1. And they are 1-1-1. Every match has been in the G1 setting, whether it's a finals or a round robin. Yoshino won the G1 in the finals in 2022 against Hiromu. Then they had the draw the following year. And then years later, a couple of years later, Hiromu beat him finally for the first time. And now he beats him again. That's going to be a great matchup, though. I'm going to go Ray Fenix and Rush. I mean, two luchadors that are, you have your brawling luchador in Rush. And then Ray Fenix, you're kind of, your high flyer. And I think Rush, pretty solid base. So this would be a fun matchup for sure. I think we've had, we've had this match before at the G1 in 2027. Ray Fenix won, so win back for Rush. He goes on to the next round with that win. Then we'll have, now this is tough. Zack Sabre Jr. Yota Tsuji, I believe that's the Technical Masterclass matchup. Which, let's see if Yota Tsuji can keep this winning streak going. He does not, unfortunately for him, as Zack Sabre Jr. is going to beat him. Devitt and La Sombra is probably the Steal the Show matchup, if I had to guess. It is, as La Sombra's going to get the win over Devitt. Fun matchup, though, as kind of crazy to think. They've had, they've worked, obviously, in WWE here in the Save. They never had a singles match, though, against each other. So the first time in the Save here, Devitt can't even work a 11-minute Steal the Show matchup, so that's just great. Just great for him. And for the next two matches, Brody King, Keith Lee, two hosses battling it out. As we'll have that be, and it's an 18-minute matchup too. Brody King will be beating Keith Lee, mainly because I think Brody's going to be the better guy. But what a massive run he is on. It's hard to believe he's done a better run than both Nakamura, Jay White, and even King Devitt, as he's the first of the Kingdom of Torture guys to make it to this third round. So that's pretty impressive, actually. And then Daichi Hashimoto and Juice Robinson. This is going to be a pretty good matchup, actually. As Hashimoto gets the win in 26 minutes. Beats Juice Robinson in their first time meeting. And just like that, he is going on to the third round. And he's going to have a hell of a matchup here. With, in the third round. Because he will be taking on Zack Sabre Jr. We'll also be seeing La Sombra versus Hiromu Takahashi. And then Rush versus Brody King. And of course, we already talked about Walter and Ryu Lee. Just like that, it is down to 8. And there is only 2 native Japanese talents left in the final 8 here. The Elite 8, if you will. As, man, we have 3 luchadors in here. There's more luchadors left than anything. It's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Of course, the Volter and Zack Sabre Jr. of United Empire. La Sombra, of course, a part of Los Ingobernables de Japón. Hiromu, part of the Bomb Squad. Him and Rush and Ryu Lee. So the 3 Bomb Squad members left still. We could see a Bomb Squad semi-final. Could even see, obviously, a Bomb Squad finals. And there's a lot of different variables, though. I mean, look at Daichi Hashimoto, though. Here's a man that is trying to live in his father's footsteps, but he can do something that his father never did, because, of course, this wasn't a thing when Hashimoto was in New Japan, and that's win the New Japan Cup. That would be a pretty fitting thing for him, to have his first kind of heavyweight success be something that his father never got to do. That would be a pretty good story to tell, and that's really kind of the thing from kind of day to day, is everyone kind of, the diehard New Japan guys that grew up watching his father, seeing now his son battle it out against some of these heavyweights, thinking that, man, he could do something that his father never even got to do. So it's just a fun storytelling aspect there. So that will, of course, be day 5. And then day 6 will be the semifinals. Before you know it, we'll be in the finals just like that. Kind of crazy how much we've really condensed this tournament to now really just focus on the tournament matches. But man, poor Zack Sabre Jr. Yota Tsuji. Really, for Zack Sabre Jr., he's going to now work 3 shows in a row, basically, in these big-time singles matches. And if he beats the winner of between, obviously, the Sombra Hiromu match, or if he, in fact, beats Daichi Hashimoto, that's going to be a pretty crazy run that he's on. He's going to be working for over 60 minutes in the last 2 weeks, basically. As an 88, though, they have great chemistry. How about that? Zack Sabre Jr. beats Yota Tsuji with the Zack Driver in 22:35. Big win for Zack Sabre Jr. there to beat Yota Tsuji. And Keith Lee losing to Brody King. Damn, that's crazy. Brody King really off his game, though, at 57. That sucks, because he got a big win over Okada, beats Keith Lee here in the Battle of the Mastodons, if you will, and Gonzo bombing someone that big is crazy as well. But just pretty brutal. That was only a 74 and 80 here for Sombra and King Devitt. That's a split-legged corkscrew sent on for La Sombra here again in 10:31. And 83 for Daichi Hashimoto and Juice Robinson. Pretty good matchup here as Hashimoto gets the win with the Brainbuster, 26:30. So 93 for Ray Fenix and Rush. So what a win for Rush. Gets his win back over Ray Fenix after last year's G1 match. He gets to win the Rush Driver in 26:41. So 99 for our main event. Hiromu Takahashi beat Shito Arashino to be ahead in the rivalry and to get a win there in a massive, massive setting. Awesome. Awesome to see a 99. This has been a hell of a New Japan Cup. This has lived up to expectations for sure. And now, we go on to day 5, and we'll see how the third round plays out. Alrighty, night 5, day 5, if you will, as they again once they're in Yokohama Arena. Definitely going to hold that off again. I think the plan is day 6, we're going to run Kansai, and the finals we'll run in Osaka, or no, not Osaka, we'll be running in Kanto. So, we have the rest of the third round matches, and then we'll go into what will be the semifinals for day 6. But for the backstage incidents, again, Ishii passing on microphone work to Tomoya Tom Ford, Sonata passing on psychology to Kinshi Shiga, and then Bryan Danielson passing on microphone work to Dante Martin. We're also going to have 2 undercard matches on the card as well. We're going to go through the first of all, the main event is definitely Hiromu and La Sombra. What a matchup. As La Sombra beats Hiromu Takahashi. That is a huge win. Of course, Sombra beat him to win the heavyweight title back in September. And that is their first ever singles match was that. So another win for La Sombra. And that's 2 straight victories for him. That is a tough break for Hiromu Takahashi. As I believe, Daichi Hashimoto, Zack Sabre Jr. believe this is the technical masterclass matchup. As yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. is going to get the win. So unfortunately, Hashimoto's run ends there. And that will now, of course, mean that Zack Sabre Jr. will take on La Sombra in the semifinals. As far as on the other side of the bracket, Rush and Brody King. Which kind of crazy Brody King made it this far, but he loses to Rush here in 21 minutes. Actually, I think we're going to have this be the Steelers Show matchup. I think that makes a lot more sense. bit of a wild brawl, if you will, is kind of the idea there, with Rush coming out on the winning end of that. Also, want to make sure, I think I had to turn off the slow build. Yeah, that would have been bad. There we go. Which will then lead to our last third round matchup to add Walter Ryu Lee. So we had this originally as a steel show matchup because originally I wanted to have speed versus strength, but now we're going to let him work a lot more. Give him 26 minutes. Walter's going to get the win. First time meeting here between these two men, and obviously very, very different styles, but I think at the same time, I think they could have a really fun match, which Walter gets the win there. So that will, of course, mean our semifinals are as follows. Walter versus Rush, La Sombra versus Zack Sabre Jr. A lot of different variables here. We could see Walter versus Zack Sabre Jr., United Empire finals. We could see Rush versus La Sombra. What a finals that could be. Two luchadors battling it out to see who will be the first ever luchador to win the New Japan Cup. That could be awesome. Also, Rush and Zack Sabre Jr., a bit of like a styles clash there with Brawler versus Grappler. Then we could also have Sombra versus Walter, which, again, yeah, that is a very fun matchup. And as far as, it's kind of crazy to think, left side, neither man has won the heavyweight title. Right side, both men have won the heavyweight title in the past. Very much could be a big night for either Walter or Rush on that finals to get a title shot at Sakura Genesis, or for La Sombra and Zack Sabre Jr. have a chance to battle Sonata for the heavyweight title. And especially for La Sombra, a guy that went into Wrestle Kingdom as the champion, lost the belt, but didn't lose to the man who ended up winning it all. Of course, lost to Tyler Black. A lot of different variables going into that semifinals. But for the undercard, so Dark Order, Task Force Death, 8-man tag here, as it's going to be the Lucha Brothers with Pac and Moxley against Order Destruction of course, Will Hobbs and Calvin Tankman, and Black Taurus and Evil. Unfortunately, Black Taurus is set to retire. So, again, Dark Order losing another member. Very, very tough. Gotta love Black Taurus, but just, it never happened. It never happened as far as being a heavyweight champion. We, I believe, we had him in a Best of Super Junior finals, I believe. Trying to think here. See. Oh, yeah, he had a Junior 4 title match, of course, back in, at the Fantastica Mania show. I think we can go off a title match. I think I'll probably pop it up. Yeah, I had a CMLL Universal title match. Had the, NW World Historic Middleweight title matchup that was at 2024's Fantastica Mania, which is probably his biggest claim to fame. I thought he was in a finals of the Best Super Junior, I guess not. But yeah, just kind of crazy to think. He, pretty much been here since day one for us, as far as brought in, of course, as part of the Dark Order, and, of course, him and Brody were a fun little team. Just kind of crazy to think that now they're both going to be gone. Just like that. But, yeah, so Pac gets that win. And then Thunder Rosa and Sage Sin against Io Shirai and Konami. As Io Shirai gonna beat Sage Sin there in 10 minutes. Pretty straightforward, just undercard Joshi tag match. As, again, we'll pick our venue. I think I'm gonna run back the Nagano Olympic Memorial Arena. It's a big venue, you know, as far as 20,000 people. Again, it's going to be about 18,000. I think it's going to be a good idea to run this again. As, yeah, here we go. Let's run it. Day 5. 75, actually, for the opener. I actually did pretty well. Thunder Rosa with a 64, 68 for Konami, 67 for, or 87, rather. Jesus Christ, for Io Shirai. What a performance from her. That's the reason why this match did so well. As, yeah, I mean, Thunder Rosa, she's, got a ways to go. If she's ever going to catch up to Io Shirai, just a great performance there all the way around. It's an 87 for the 8-man. Task Force Death beating Dark Order. Shooting Star leg drop from Pac over Black Taurus. It's crazy Black Taurus is still better than Evil. Calvin Tankman, boy oh boy, really off his game. Only a 70. He's fallen off big time. big time. But yeah, Hobbs was at least the best guy for his team, but still, he was like almost got outperformed by the worst guy for Task Force Death. So that just shows you how well they are. Yeah, unfortunately, a really good match that gets kind of cut in half because of that 8-man being as good as it was. But Zack Sabre Jr. gets the win, though, beats Daichi Hashimoto. Hell of a win, and a hell of a matchup, though. Would love to see that again. Rush beating Brody King with a La Lanza in 11:33. As Rush with an 85. Yeah, he definitely works better in the Steal a Show setting than like a regular 20-minute matchup. That fits more of his style. And Volter beats Ryu Lee, even though Ryu Lee outperformed him. What a performance for Ryu Lee. But yeah, Volter gets the win in 25:57. And then our main event at 97, Hiromu and La Sombra again battling it out as La Sombra gets the win with a split-legged corkscrew senton in 29:30, and he gets the win going on to the semifinals. As what a semifinals though we have on task on tap for us as far as going into the day 6 show. We'll see who the finals turn into. We'll build up maybe a little bit more of Io Shirai and Thunder Rosa. The Lee Moriarty matchup. So it's going to be at the final show. It's going to be Lee Moriarty and Jonathan Gresham taking on Ryu Lee and Samurai Del Sol. So it's giving Ryu Lee a chance to maybe potentially get some kind of avenging a bit of a loss there to obviously Volter, and him and Gresham of course had their matchup in the tournament. So I just feel like that's a great way to kind of bring it all back around. And yeah, I think this is I think that's just a fun little undercard match to have. I'm sure we'll add some more once we get from day 6 to maybe the finals. So maybe we'll even add some more just as far as depending on who's in the finals, of course. Undercard matchup between maybe the two different stables, so there's that as well. Unless it's, of course, Volter and Zack Sabre Jr. in the finals, then I guess it would be, maybe we could do a United Empire versus United Empire matchup. Who knows? So, a lot of things can happen. It's on to day 6. Here we go. Alrighty. As far as day 6, here we get to see the semifinals, as well as a little bit of an undercard, as well. That is a bit of a mixed podge of building up to the next as far as the final show, and then a little bit of like fallout of what's happening on this card. For instance, we're having because Sombra and Zack Sabre Jr. are having a matchup. Figured we could have an LIJ United Empire matchup. Thought about also too doing which we end up doing the Bomb Squad versus United Empire, since Falter and Rush are having a match too. Hence why Hiromu and Kurashio against Makabe and Gresham's on the card. So just a little bit of like a whole story in one show, if you will, as far as from that perspective. As far as this, of course, is our Osaka show. Makito helps them a pancake station. That's pretty great. Pretty great. What a chef. As yeah, we'll definitely be running Osaka Joe Hall. Damn. Is there a 20,000 seater in Osaka? I don't think so. In 30,000, the rugby stadium, but I better just run Osaka Joe Hall. So, our main event, it's either Sombra and Zack Sabre Jr. or Volter and Rush. I think this is definitely the better matchup in Sombra and Zack Sabre Jr. And Sombra is going to get the win, so he's making it to the finals. Beats Zack Sabre Jr. in 29 minutes, and Volter and Rush is our next matchup. And Volter beats Rush, so we have our finals. As we'll make that 28 minutes, so it's not exact. Volter versus La Sombra, two men who have never made it to the finals of the New Japan Cup before, making it to the finals now. As Kingdom of Torture, Monstars U, we're going to have a trios matchup on the final show between these three teams. It's going to be Lee, Dijak, and Miro against Jay White, King Devitt, and Nakamura, as Keith Lee gets his win back over Brody King after Brody King, of course, beat him during the tournament. But yeah, that's that matchup. Then Hiromu and Kurashio against Makabe and Gresham, as this is a regular 20-minute tag match. Makabe is going to beat Kurashio there. So win for United Empire, even though the Bomb Squad were already going to win anyways. So, and or we're already losing rather. Anyways, with having Rush lose, so a tough break for them. But Bushi beats Gavin McGavin, so a clean sweep for the LIJ members against the United Empire members. And Alex Shelley and Ryota Machizuki. This is a big matchup for Machizuki. He's going to beat Alex Shelley there in 16 minutes, and Shelley is pissed. Machizuki, he just got to get over. You know, that's the big thing for him, so that's why he's having this match. I mean, I think it's going to be a pretty good show, all things considered. We'll see, though. I mean, this tag match here, the Alexander McGavin match, might not be the greatest. We'll see, though. I'm feeling pretty confident about it, though. So 70 for Shelley and Machizuki. It's, oh, wow, he doubled them in performance ratings. Yeah, I could see now why Shelley's a lot more upset. 76, though, for Bushi and Shingo against McGavin and Alexander. Gavin McGavin, best guy in the match. Gotta love it. Bushi gets the win, though, with a Firebird Splash. Unfortunately, onto Gavin McGavin. Bushi was off his game, so he might have been on the same level as McGavin, but actually a decent little tag match. It's an 80 for Gresham and Makabe beating Hiromu and Kirishio, as Gresham now chronic shoulder pain. Just great. Arm trap German suplex, though, for Makabe gets the win in 20 minutes. And it was Kirishio who caused the injury. Just great. 81 for the 8-man Kingdom of Torture, losing to the Monstars U team, as Keith Lee with the power slam over Brody King. I guess he doesn't hit a spirit bomb on him, but I was kind of hoping he would. But Jay White, best guy in the match, followed by Miro. And, of course, Miro and Kingdom of Torture, they have their history. Of course, part of the Kingdom of Torture originally. Then, with Nakamura involved, as he has 73, that's kind of crazy that he did so well. Keith Lee gets outperformed by Nakamura. Dijak also as well, and Brody King. Pretty impressive to see Devitt, or not Devitt, rather, excuse me, I just read that he was off his game, but Nakamura did as well as he did in this matchup. A decent little undercard. And our co-main event, Walter Rush in the semifinals. Walter beats him with the Burning Lariat. Fun matchup there. I think these two stylistically could have a pretty banger matchup. They can kind of do it all. They can brawl, they can grapple, they can do anything that we need out of, especially in a strong style type of environment where really it's more of a athletic contest and not so much like a match that's telling a story in like a sports entertainment sense. Be a hell of a match. Our main event, La Sombra beating Zack Sabre Jr. Again with a split like a corkscrew send out on 28-51. And our finals is set. The card itself is set as well. As let's just go to the pre-booking page. We'll just click on this to look at the final show here. As so the finals is as follows. Of course, main event, Walter, La Sombra, New Japan Cup Finals. Winner takes on Sonata at the Sakura Genesis show. Order of Destruction versus Gory Bastards. Of course, we already talked about that matchup. We already talked about the women's title matchup with Thunder Rosa and Io Shirai, who needs her little, there we go, championship banner thing. Moriarty and Gresham against Riley and Sunray. Also another matchup we talked about. Kingdom of Torture, Monstars University. This is the trios matchup, rather, excuse me, on that matchup. Donna Del Mondo versus Tokyo Cyber Squad. Of course, the Tokyo Cyber Squad are the open-weight women's tag team champs in Hana Kimura and Starlight Kids. A little build-up potentially there. A follow-through of what's the co-main event, but the match before the co-main event, the women's title matchup with the Ladies of Destruction, if you will, or the Ladies of Death. Actually, I guess we could have went with the Ladies of Torture, but we went with the Ladies of Death as Raven Creed and Sage Sin taking on Kairi Hojo and Konami. In the opening matchup, United Empire versus Los Ingobernables de Japón. We end out the show with an LIJ United Empire matchup. Figured we'd open up the show with it, as that is another multi-man matchup. As it's a trios matchup, as it's Shingo, Bushi, Yotsuji versus I want to say it's Makabe, Alexander, McGavin. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the trio, and that is the final show. As far as what it's gonna look like, obviously we're just gonna run that show. We're not gonna see any of the booking or anything like that, so we will be good to go. Another pretty great show, especially that main event, co-main event. The New Japan Cup matches went very, very well. I would say the cards itself improved tremendously by having this type of format. And now we'll get to see how the finals play out. Alrighty, so the New Japan Cup here in 2028, the finals is at a sold-out Jinju Stadium. 37,933 people lining up to see how the finals play out. As Yota Tsuji is going to get the win in our opening contest, beating Daniel Makabe with a spear again, just kind of following off. I mean, Yota Tsuji's had a pretty big month already, beating Konosuke Takeshita in a singles matchup, and now gets a big win here over Daniel Makabe. The boy is cooking up to be a potential top flight talent, potentially. Who knows? As far as, it's crazy. Again, Kevin with a 73. Best, he did better than everybody on that other side of the team. As a 75 for Raven Creed and Sage Sin against Konami and Kariojo. As Raven Creed gets the win here with a neck breaker. So that's a huge win for the Ladies of Death, if you will. As far as Raven Creed, she barely gets outperformed by Konami, but of course, Kariojo much better. Decent little matchup. I thought it was going to be a lot worse, to be honest. I'm glad this even got a 75. As the following matchup, it's trios. Women's matchup as Julia, Saki Akai, and Natsui taking on Hanakamura, Starlight Kid, and Hamawari Unagi. As Saki Akai gets the win, and Starlight Kid was the best woman in the matchup, as she gets the win with the Lehman Galaxy, as Akai, best woman on the Donna Del Mondo side. Little build-up, potentially, to a women's tag team title matchup, like we said. As because Julia and Akai haven't lost yet in this calendar year, so to think in a tag team setting, they are definitely a viable threat, for sure. Then Monstars, you beating the Kingdom of Torture's Miro gets the win over Nakamura with the game over. So, of course, Miro, he lost the first round. Felt like this was a nice little bounce back for him, even though, again, Nakamura outperformed him. And that's a big win, though, over the trios. Again, another team that might potentially see tag team title action, especially with Keith Lee and Dijak. That's going to be interesting. But yeah, Jay White, best guy in the match. Really no surprise there. And that gets an 80. A 94 for Mexa Blood versus Gresham and Moriarty. Of course, this would have been a lot better if Gresham didn't get injured during the tour. But Samurai Del Sol beats Lee Moriarty with the Del Sol driver. So that's a Junior Heavyweight title matchup now. Unfortunately, Moriarty and Samurai Del Sol do have bad chemistry, so that match at Sakura Genesis probably isn't going to be as great as I would have hoped. But man, what a team those, Riley and Samurai Del Sol. 97 and 91. That is pretty crazy. Then a 90 for the women's title matchup, as even though Thunder Rosa and Sage Sin are a very poor combination, so it looks like we're going to have to change the managers. They probably have to have Raven Creed be the manager. We see both interferences from both Sage Sin and Raven Creed. And as far as there's distractions followed by interference, and then as far as Io Shirai trying to go to the top rope for a moonsault, gets thrown off by one of them, like just really doing everything they can to help Thunder Rosa get this victory. Eventually, though, Io Shirai does overcome the odds and gets the win and retains her belt for the 18th time. Again, she's been defending that belt all over the world and gets another win there. A 97 for the co-main, the tag team titles. Kept with the Gory Bastards here as Moxley beats Tankman with the Death Rider in 24-25. Obviously, Tankman, worst guy in the match, gets the loss there. In our main event, Volter wins with the Lariat, a burning Lariat to be exact, between two men with great chemistry, and what a main event. As Volter has won the 2028 New Japan Cup, and afterwards we get a post-show, with the celebration in the ring, and then with the pictures with the cup, and with all of United Empire there, and I'm sure very much Zack Sabre Jr. delighted to see the man who beat him lose, and to see Volter being the man to bring it home. And for him, his press conference is not even just mainly asking questions, more just a promo, saying that he's been here for 6 years, and he has done everything he can to build to an IWGP Heavyweight title. As far as he was one of the most decorated Intercontinental Champions we've had. Feels like he is now on the cusp of finally achieving his goal of being the Heavyweight Champion. He's just now one match away. if he can beat Sonata and Sakura Genesis. That's just mainly what he's talking about there. More so of how this is his golden opportunity. He's worked hard. He's been incredible pretty much since day one that he's been brought in. And obviously, the matchup's going to be pretty fun, though. I think him and Sonata would be a pretty unique matchup, at least on paper. We'll see how it plays out. Post-show press conference, Raven Creed's supposed to be off screen, but it is Kana mainly storming into the press area with Io Shirai just screaming and yelling, and how not even 3 women can take out, Triple Talent Tandem as far as Raven Creed and Sage Sin Thunder Rosa. Basically 3-on-1 out there, and she wanted to come out there and help Io Shirai, but she knew that her talents were best used in the back, because she knew that Io Shirai could get the win. And for Io Shirai, of course, again, it's harkening back to what she said before. She's defended this belt all over the world. She's not letting up anytime soon. She feels that this is the prime of her career. This is the career-defining run. She feels like any given night, she's the best woman in the world, and that you have to be not only on your A game, your A+ game, your S game, if you would, as far as with Kana and Io Shirai. They are just kind of riding this wave of excitement, of all the pandemonium, the craziness that was that women's title matchup with all the interferences and whatnot. But she still comes out on top as the women's champion. And our last press conference is actually from the loser of the main event, La Sombra. And Sombra first puts over Walter. Tonight, he was the better guy. He gets his big win. Hats off to him. I had a hard-fought tournament. It would have been great to get back to the heavyweight title. But now, as I'm sitting here and I'm reflecting, I still have unfinished business with the man who cost me my heavyweight title, and Tyler Black says to Tanahashi, who's there, as far as about to wrap up the press conference, says to him that he's got a request. He says usually the man who comes up short in the finals gets the title matchup at Sakura Genesis for the Intercontinental title. He's requested, though, that be changed to Tyler Black, as he wants his match with Tyler Black. He wants the one-on-one matchup for the U.S. title, and Tanahashi makes it official. So we have our main event and presumably our co-main event in Walter versus Sonata and Tyler Black versus La Sombra for the U.S. title. This is that's going to be a hell of a 1-2 punch. And as far as the show itself and the episode, boy oh boy, did we have some major matchups. It's crazy again. Walter and La Sombra was hoping they'd get a 99 or even 100 with their chemistry boost, but it wasn't the case. Jon Moxley getting a win over Calvin Tankman, and that's going to lead to a never openweight, New Japan Strong Openweight title matchup between Will Hobbs and Jon Moxley with that win, as we'll see, as far as basically Hobbs wants to avenge the Tankman loss for his boy, as far as to get a big win over Moxley could be huge. And for Moxley, he's never had the never openweight title. He's had the New Japan Strong Openweight title, but that could be a new adventure for him. Plus, still, the tag team champion. He could be a triple belt man. He could be what Will Hobbs used to be, as far as with all 3 of his belts. But now, as far as on the horizon for Sakura Genesis, it's pretty straightforward. There's going to be a bunch of title matches. We're going to see, as far as Donna Del Mondo of Julia and Akai against Hana Kimura Starlight Kid. We're going to see Devitt and Jay White against Dijak and Keith Lee. We're going to see, again, Moriarty defend his junior heavyweight title against Ryu Lee. Just right there, it is title matches there. I mean, that's what, 5 of the 8 matches already we know going into Sakura Genesis, and I'm sure there's going to be more. As far as never openweight 6-man tag team title matchup, of course, that's Gable, Claudio, and Ashino. Probably a potential title matchup there on the horizon. There's so much that can actually. There's 1, there's 2 with Sombra and Tyler Black, then the Corey Batzers and so Moxley and Will Hobbs. There's 3, 4, 5, 6 actually title matches have pretty much now been put into motion So almost the majority of the card already we know going into the next episode. As yeah, we definitely want to put over Volter and Sombra, and I think who else? Because yeah, we'll go Ryu Lee for his 90-70. Actually, that was actually really impressive. But that will do it though for episode 139. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time for Sakurai Genesis. Take care, everyone.